Hey, today we are in the studio and I want to share some things with you I wished I had known when I first started doing headshot photography, and we're going to do it all with just one light. All right, today we have in the studio Alex. He's agreed to be our lovely model. And I want to show you what we're going to be using today. This is a 48-inch deep parabolic softbox from Glow. And it is attached to an 8600 Pro from Flashpoint. Godox, Flashpoint, same thing. But I do want to point out that you don't have to have this kind of light. I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, I don't have that, I don't have the space for that, whatever. You can do the same exact thing with a cheap speed light and an umbrella. And I'm going to show you exactly that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and get the first shot here. We have it set up one light only. I know there's a bunch of other lights in here, but the only light I have on is this light right here. So the first look we're going to go for is a nice Rembrandt light on his face. So Alex looking right here, and bam. So you can see how the shadow, the light makes that perfect triangle on that side. Classic Rembrandt lighting. Now it may look a little bit dark, so what do you do to fix that? You add in fill. Well, we want to use just one light, so we are going to use this reflector, again from Glow. I like Glow stuff. It's easy to tear down and set up. So we're going to bring this in here right close to his face. And then we're kind of hiding him there, but bring it nice in. Make sure the light is going to bounce right off of that. Boom, boom, right here onto his face and light it up nice. Give him a little bit of fill right there, fill in those shadows. So let's check out, see what that looks like. And you can see right there, it adds a lot of fill on those shadow sides, so it's not so dark, not so deep black on that side. So bam, there you go. That's nice, easy Rembrandt light. And then we're going to jump on to the next lighting style, and that is loop lighting. So close to Rembrandt. We're just going to bring this light around just a little bit. And remember, when you're using a soft source, or any source really, the larger the source in comparison to the subject, the softer the light's going to be. So when you look at these photos, you can see it's nice soft light. That's because we have such a large source really close to his face. So now we should have, just moving the light over that much, we should have nice loop lighting. I'm going to keep that fill, that reflector causing the fill right there, right where it's at. So as you can see, yeah, we can see it definitely fills in a lot more on that side of his face. It's not that so dark with that Rembrandt. We fill in a lot more, but it has that nice loop shadow right there to the side of his face. Well, before we jump on anything else, I want to point out the background. When you're saying the background looks kind of dark, well, if you look at the background, it's mainly blue, but it's got some tans in it, and we might want to bring some of that out. Well, we don't have to have another light. Really, you can control the amount of light going on to the background by how close you are. We're pretty far away from the background, as you can see. So we can do a couple things. We can move him closer to it, or we can just simply feather the light over this way, get some more shining that way, not change the light on his face too much. We're gonna get something that's still really, really close to that, but we're gonna move it over so we can see more light going onto that background. So let's pop that and see what that looks like. Alex looking right here, nice little smile. There we go. So as you can see, just moving the light like that adds a lot of light to the background, fills in a little bit more. This is a darker background. If you have a white or a gray, you can definitely make that brighter if you want to. So let's go into the next style, which is going to be split lighting. And we're going to move this over here, get it kind of over here on this side. I want to make the background nice and dark for this first one, and I want to take away all the fill light. So let's move this out of the way. So now, as you can see, we have just this large softbox. And you know what, even with this, I think I want to make the lighting a little bit more dramatic, maybe not as soft as it wrap around at all. So let's push it back even a little bit more. So because I pushed it back, I'm going to just power up my light just a little bit more, give it a little bit more on his face. We'll see what that looks like right there. Let's go ahead and pop this one. Alex, give me a stern look. Nothing happy on this one. There we go. So you can see there, definitely split light going right down his nose. No light on this side of his face at all. So let's add that fill back in, see what that looks like. I like getting these up really, really close. Again, the larger the source, the softer the light. So I don't want really hard anything filling in. So we're gonna get that really close to him just out of camera frame. And let's take that shot one more time. There you go, and that might be a little bit too much. Let's back it off just a little bit. That's a lot of fill coming in. Let's try right there. All right, right here, good. Nice. So you can see just this white reflector really does fill in that side of his face really nice. Now the other lighting style I use a lot is going to be butterfly lighting or paramount. Called that because of back in its day, Paramount Studios used this a lot for that classic Hollywood beauty lighting. You could do some really dramatic stuff with this as well. And if I really wanted to, because I'm going to be pointing now really right at the background, it's going to light it up more. But if I wanted to be more directional with that light, I could always throw a grid on there. This is a pretty big grid for this light, but it works wonders. It would take all the light that's going to be on that background and take it right off. So let's go ahead and pop this one, see what it looks like. Looking right here, tiny bit of a smile. Chin down just a little bit. There you go. Good. So there you can see under his nose, we have that classic butterfly light. That's that Paramount look. Well, one thing we can do on this one as well, because if you look at his face, you can see where, there's deep dark shadows in here. It does bring out his cheekbones a little bit. By the way, I'm tethering with Lightroom if you're wondering how this is hooked up. So I just had this in tethered from my laptop to this TV screen here. All my clients love it. I highly suggest doing it if you aren't. But it's a great tool here in the studio to use. So we're going to add this reflector, same exact reflector, except we're going to set it up as a clamshell light. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him hold it. Just grab the edges there. There you go. Let's take a look at that, see what that looks like. Nice little bit of smile right here. Good. So if we look at those two that we just took, and we can see that that fills in those shadows pretty nicely there to where we had all these deep dark shadows here, which, hey, it may be what you want, even under his chin there. And this really fills that in and gives him that nice catch light there. One thing I want to point out too is if you look at this photo here, you can see a little bit of catch light in his eyes, but you really want to get that catch light. There's this thing about seeing a catch light in your eyes. If you don't see one, it kind of like looks like you don't have a soul. And I'm pretty sure all of you want to have souls. So make sure you get a little bit of that catch light in there at the top, and just a bonus to have that catch light from the reflector there at the bottom. And so last thing but not least is, what I said at the beginning, we want to show how you can use even a much cheaper setup to get the same exact look. So we are going to use a speed light and an umbrella. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, this is what I built my headshot business on, is this exact setup right here. Actually, it may have been an even cheaper light than this. If you go too cheap, they're just not reliable. So, make sure you get something that's going to work for you. But you can get this set up for just a couple $100s. Again, all the links are down below if you want to check out exactly what this is. So what we have here, I actually want to show this to you because I think it's super cool, is a speed light inside a Bowens mount little adapter. So it just clamps down on the speed light. And then this has a Bowens mount on there, but I'm just using an umbrella, so it also has the umbrella holder right there. So I could use that big giant softbox over there. I could use any one of these modifiers I have here in the studio, but the thing that's cheapest and most probably readily available is going to be an umbrella. So let's just see what this looks like. Yeah, we're going to go about right there. The way I like to set up lights is I like to have the bottom of the softbox at about chin level. That usually gives me the right look I'm going for. So let's switch over to that light. And really the biggest difference with this is, yes, the power from a 600 watt strobe to much, much less. But the other biggest difference is going to be my color balance. These are a little bit cooler, so I'm going to crank up my white balance a little bit. All right, so right here, we should get pretty close to, this is probably gonna be loop lighting. Let's bring it around just a little bit. See if we can get something similar to what we had at the very beginning. All right, right here, good. Awesome. And now, you know what? Let's just compare that to the very first picture we took and just see how close we are. So if you're looking at that setup right there, it's pretty close. And again, I maybe see a little bit more of the background in this first one. All I have to do to fix that is just feather the light a little bit more to the background, and you'll get that there. But I just want to point out, you can get the same look no matter what you have. You got to start somewhere. You might as well start with what you got. I hope this was helpful. And if it was, make sure you stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see you next time.